time. All right, and here we are doing an analysis, a quick analysis, not very well, regarding Gachagua had an NTV interview. And during that interview, Rigathi Gachagua said that he cannot regret so much for what happened in Mbere, though it was not fine. He cannot regret so much because his party just started 7 months ago, and it made it to have some positions in Kenya, particularly in places that are not the Mount Kenya, which actually work against the narrative by RUTO that DCP is a tribal, party. Now, unfortunately, in Kenya, what we do most times, we point fingers at others and forget that 5 fingers are, or is it 5 or 10, are pointing towards us. I think there are 5, right? 4 are pointing towards us, 1 towards another. When we see our leaders talking about tribalism, it's just a cover-up. That's what I believe. Because currently, checking on parastatals and appointments, a lot of people from certain tribes, particularly the president's tribe, have been selected left and right. And even those people have complained. I saw the other month, last month, there was doing an analysis, and they were saying that the imbalance in representation of regions is so bad in Kenya. That's why you look around, and our kind of support towards candidates will continue to be tribal, and many candidates will raise issues to do with their regions because there is that imbalance. I would expect a point whereby we have a president that is actually balancing equally. We have about how many? We have all those regions in Kenya. And if we had parastatals picking different people from different regions to represent us, we would be so happy. And since then we would learn that in Kenya, when leadership is taken, it's not about a tribe that will favor their own. But the narrative currently is like, if our own becomes a president, then what? So I'm always watching over to see that currently we have a Kalenjin president who has favored a lot of Kalenjins. During the time when he had a Kikuyu president, he favored Kikuyus. And I've seen of late, people are trying to fool us, tell us that the narrative of tribal politics is over. But I guess it's not. We may say that people have improved in a manner that they are trying to unite from diversity, but what are they doing? They are simply trying to collect first their own people, then try again to use different regions to solicit for votes, which is equally what people used to do in past. And when somebody walks into office, he promises his own people a lot. And automatically when they go in, of course they want to trust, give officers, especially security. Ask yourself why Murkomen is in charge of security. Ask yourself, and go about and check on the CEOs of many parastatals. Check on ambassadors that have been sent to other different countries. As far as Kenyans will be fooled that DCP is the one that is tribal, I think Kenyans are generally just tribal. And if they accepted this, it will be better. The sooner the better. So let's get to an analysis here. I'm focusing towards the speech that was given, because in the interview, of course, I can quickly highlight what Gachagua focused on. He gave their focus, or rather approach towards Kenya, and they mentioned something to do with enhancing education, making it virtual, ensuring that teachers are well paid, and also they will absorb JSS teachers into permanent and pensionable. They'll also make sure that parents don't have the burden of school fees, and they will ascertain a system that enhances a full CBC that is qualified. When it came to education, he said that he will want a universal health care for the people, and this should be a comprehensive one to cover well for all the individuals, because he indicated that the police currently are suffering, and even the teachers. So he said that SHA is not the best for the teachers and the police. He also talked about matters of development, and he said he will be wiping matters to do with theft. He will also bar extrajudicial killings and all that. So I believe that he's trying to use a narrative of what has failed in government to create his own narrative of what he will do. He indicated that a good dancer does not dance himself lame when the main dance has not started. So he was mentioning that the by-election was just a simple dance, but the main dance is coming in 2027. And they are restructuring, working together to ensure that they win. He even said that JB Muturi is going to court, and therefore I've seen just that video. So I'll start by JB Muturi to see what he's after. Let's switch the contents here. And guys, continue subscribing to the channel. So let's check on JB Muturi here.
I also met our lawyers about Malava, and we are preparing a legal challenge to the atrocities committed both in Mbeere and in Malava. May I invite the Honorable JB. Confirm to Kenyans that yes, indeed, we are historically supposed to enjoy and celebrate Jamhuri Day. The unfortunate bit this year is that there's really nothing much to celebrate other than to remember the heroism of those that fought for independence. Because as has been confirmed both in our statement and from my colleagues who have spoken for me, there's really nothing to celebrate. Honesty, truth have been criminalized. I hope Kenyans don't clap or won't clap for William Ruto if he says again, if he repeats tomorrow, that since he took office, he has never taken a shilling that belongs to the public. Because I'm sure even you colleagues from the media, you actually can tell. Somebody who has never taken a shilling out of public coffers is able to invite 10,000 teachers and give them 10,000 shillings each. Where will he say that came from? Parliament has not passed in a budget authorizing him to spend that kind of money. Where will he say he gets the money to call 10,000 chiefs and assistant chiefs and bribe them with 10,000 shillings each? Yet he has not taken a shilling from the public coffers other than his salary, which we all know how much it is. So I'm just cautioning Kenyans, please don't celebrate that because he is likely to repeat that lie. Because William Ruto is a guy of theater. He likes theatrics. High sounding phrases, making Kenya Singapore. Yeah? How do you make Kenya Singapore when corruption is the order of the day? I hope he has read actually a Lipa News book properly so that he is not hallucinating about making Kenya Singapore in the next few months that are remaining in this presidency. Because for sure, we in the United Opposition are determined to rescue this country. Lazima tukomboe hii nchi kutoka kwa utawala mbaya, utawala ambao kile kimekita mizizi zaidi ni ufisadi. And we must celebrate some of our institutions that are still remaining faithful to the country, faithful to the provision, the requirements of the leadership and integrity provisions in our constitution, principles and values of governance as enshrined in Article 10. You must all participate in liberating this country. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you. Thank you. May I now invite my brother Inturi Alete Salam. Thank you. Karibu. Thank you very much. Let me also join my friend.
So, of course, J.B. Muturi was confirming the nullification of the election that was conducted in North Mbeere and also indicating they are going to court for the case of the Malava North election. And we understand very well what happened on the ground. There was a lot of a lot of force that was used to frustrate the voters. And away from that, we had violence, bribery, voter bribery. And at some point, there was an attempt to ban one of the polling stations in Mbeere North. And of course, from Mbeere North, we heard clearly that some people had been told to share the picture of whom they have voted for so that they can be given more money. And recently we saw two young people from Gen Z trying to share that content and went to share in court that they were actually being told to take a picture of who they voted for and share it out. But anyway, it is what it is. Now, the opposition is coming out to say they're rescuing the nation from corruption. We hope they're actually truthful, because if we have to rescue the country from corruption, then almost all the current leaders who are sitting in house shouldn't be going for it. But we are still seeing efforts of some of them actually trying to fall out as a strategy to come back. And let's just watch partly on what is happening elsewhere. But before that, I think we should also be watching on the speech that is related to this one, but given by, let's just see, where is this? We want to see the statement that Gachagua gave during the same brief.
Thank you very much. Let me also take this opportunity to wish the great people of Kenya a Merry Christmas and a very happy 2026. March, as we know, that Kenyans have nothing to celebrate. Kenyans depart their villages in anguish, in despair, lacking, is not performing, despite the State of Nation address by William RUTO in Parliament saying that the economy is doing much better. Kenyans know differently. As I have said many times, you don't need to tell Kenyans that there is economic growth. They know it when it is happening. During the tenure of Mwai Kibaki, Kenyans would talk of economic growth without relying on any statistics or any economic survey. You remember we had banks hawking loans. They would be having tents outside banks, inviting the people of Kenya to come and get money to do business. Economy was thriving and Kenyans knew. So as we proceed for Christmas and New Year festivities, Kenyans are in distress. Kenyans are worried about January because capitation is not available. They have to dig deeper into their pockets to pay school fees for their children. The free primary education initiated by Mwai Kibaki is no longer the case. The free secondary education brought by Uhuru Kenyatta is no longer the case. But we want to ask the people of Kenya to stay focused and not to give up. Let me take this opportunity to urge the people of Kenya and new media and our political competitors not to fall for the false narrative by William RUTO. William RUTO is trying to tell the people of Kenya that the problem of Kenya is tribalism. And the most urgent thing is to unite the country. There is no community in Kenya that has a problem with any other community. Even you people or the press who are here, you are from different communities and you have no issue with each other. Kenyans are all united against oppression, against poverty, and against all the evils that bedevil the republic. We want to tell William RUTO, don't tell the people of Kenya that the problem is tribalism and lack of unity in the country, because you know it's a lie. That is diversionary. The problem of Kenya is theft of public resources. The problem of Kenya is wanton corruption. The problem of Kenya is misappropriation of public resources. The problem of Kenya is disregard of the rule of law. The problem of Kenya is abductions and extrajudicial killings. The problem of Kenya is wanton and open and shameless bribery in State House of Kenyan voters. Those are the problems that bedevil our country. So please, let people not be swayed and diverted to chase a false narrative about tribalism and lack of unity in the country. Those are not challenges in this country at all. The problem of this country today is the reading of the payslip. All workers are in anguish. Their payslips have been raided. Those are the real challenges that faces the people of Kenya. So as we proceed to Christmas.
All right, guys. So as an analyst, when you look at the challenge between opposition and the government, it's outrageous that sometimes maybe you use a narrative to push somebody out, and then they use another narrative against you. So Rigathi Gachagua plus JB Muturi are two people who are pushed away from the government. They have studied the government so well, and they have been so close to RUTO that whatever they say may not easily be doubted by citizens. Now, it's a reality that a lot of citizens are suffering. Actually, the civil servants, especially those who have pay slips and they are seeing it mutilated, they would easily trust the narrative of Gachagua. And when you look at the experiences of what is going to happen in January in relation to school fees, it's untimely that the government decided to do what it did. I don't just understand how they are going to unnerve themselves from the teeth of the opposition and how they are really being undressed. The reality is, ask yourself why Rigathi and his team had to stand out today and come with a brief. They really understand that tomorrow the president is going to speak. And so they have already prepared people on what the president might say and how they should react towards it. Now, let me tell you one thing. When you're watching drama, and the current drama whereby you are given a brief, do let me know what motivates you to watch more videos or maybe not to. The preparation is done in hints about the video. And once you see it, then you are set to go watch. Now, I'm just waiting to see the reaction of people tomorrow over, that is the holiday, and see how they'll respond towards what the president and his team will say. Meanwhile, let's check on ODM, who are set to prepare people in Western. Sifuna met elders in Western, right? I want to take you there. ODM has actually decided Sifuna and Osoti had to meet Luya elders over opposition of ODM. I don't know whether this will be another wheelbarrow that William Ruto is trying to use, or it is generally a decision by Sifuna, because somebody recently was saying that that's Wariunge. Wariunge said that there is a high possibility Mama Ida is going to be a force to reckon. She's going to create a party, or rather a kind of movement in Nyanza through Orengo. And Orengo will also that we will have so many people joining them. Those who feel like they are not so much in ODM that is reasoning with the government. And people like Sifuna and the rest of them, Babu, will join them. So let's just see what is happening here. We have about 5 minutes to go.
The elders even suggest who should be member of parliament, who should be a governor. Yeah, concerns us a lot. So when we were hearing some talks going on, people have been saying different versions.
Oh my God, what is this now?
Of what Raila said before he died, that he left them in broad-based and they will remain in broad-based, and nobody has talked to us about broad-based. We were concerned. So we thought we should call them, and they have come. They came on time. They have given us answers. We are satisfied. Going forward, we will be following up what is going on and letting our community know what is exactly going on, so that we know. And many other things. There are many things. The gold mine, which they are talking about in Shinyal, in Kolomani, and that is not. People are being beaten. Some people have lost life because they are asking, what's happened? Nobody consulted them. Nobody asked them or told them what they were going to do. There's a lot of gold under their land. The land belongs to them. Somebody should talk to them. Yeah. And we are going to spearhead those discussions and try to ask many questions, difficult questions, to the people who are concerned so that our people get justice.
These two senators that are here, we invited them. But we are going to spread right across the nation to make sure that Luhya unity is a reality. You are aware that in some communities, the elders even suggest who should be member of parliament, who should be a governor, to say, wewe hutasimama mwaka huu, lakini mwaka ujao ndio tutakupatia nafasi, lakini waachia huyo.
And we were summoned to try and give a status update on the happenings in ODM, which we have been able to do that. It was a concern to the elders. We have given clarifications and assurances, and we hope that we are moving on the right track moving forward.
These consultations are important even as we represent our people. We have now seen what the community's position on the sugar industry is, on the question of gold mining and public participation in Ikolomani, and also the concerns the community has raised around the project in Siaya on the nuclear plant, because we are all in the neighborhood of that particular project. And you will hear us in our various platforms articulating your position. So, thank you.
All right, so if I may ask, of course, elders, they always say they have some wisdom, and when they decide to direct the young people, they have intentions that are well meant for the people. Do you actually believe that the young people, that is Sifuna and Osoti, as they were summoned by the elders and engaged in this discussion, it was what? Do you believe they don't have selfish interests, but they have the interest of the Luhyas? At what have summoning ODM, and they're not going to other leaders like Natembea and among others? Because if they have the purpose of uniting and creating allegiance and the sense of unity among the Luhyas, then I should have expected that they called upon different parties and warned them that they should not have battles, they should have a friendly engagement, even if it's opposition. Of course, somebody, I think it's Pierre Lumumba, said that opposition doesn't mean you are an enemy. You are simply having different ideologies about how to run the country. Your interests are directed toward the same tool or object, and therefore none of them is destructive at all. But now in Kenya, when you talk about opposition, it looks as if it's a war. People will literally want to fight, you know. They will literally want to fight or engage in discussions that are very lethal. So you realize that the elders in Kakamega are concerned about gold. Of course, currently a lot of people are being beaten and even killed intentionally to have them leave their homes and desert them because there is gold that was there. And that gold was not discovered today. It was discovered long ago. Only that processes in Kenya take a lot of time. Just like there is also, and up to now we are still battling with prices of fuel when we have it already, you know. They are also concerned about the leadership aspect and decisions by ODM, whether it is the broad-based government or they are setting their grounds for 2027, among other affairs. So let's check in. I'm just doing some quick view through Winnie Odinga's speech yesterday. I'll talk about it because I've mastered some of the things she said. Winnie Odinga came out yesterday to say that elders should not consider young people as a problem because the young people can do a lot with the internet, but when they try to do it, the older people try to, consider them enemies. She also said that young people want to be impressed and be engaged in the discussions around the development of the nation. They also don't want to be given everything. There are things that they would rather do for themselves. She kept on indicating that theft of votes is unsuitable and unproductive because it has created disillusionment among the young people in Kenya. And that's why they're watching from a distance without participating in elections. And finally, she said that it's high time the young people be respected. So I'll just run through the video, but not really focusing on any particular aspect. So let's see this.
Mr. Raila Odinga has hit out at the current regime for abducting young people opposed to it. Speaking during an event might lead chaos in the country.
These young people are angry. They're not trying to burn down the house. They just want to be listened to. Some fighting for inclusion. Some will go to the streets. But the more worrying thing is that most have checked out of the game. They will not participate in a game that is not equal. So we can't have a society like that, where some participate and others couldn't be bothered, or they're too afraid. They'll be abducted, they'll be killed. Even if they vote, it will be stolen. We cannot live in a society like that.
Winnie, who is a Nyala member of parliament, has hailed her father as a fighter for human rights and democracy, who was a trailblazer and an inspiration to the future generations.
He used to say, leadership isn't about a title. It's about showing up every day, fighting for what is right, and lifting others as you climb. And lift he did. Isn't it ironic, though, that the very people Raila fought for sometimes questioned his methods? Some called him a radical. I prefer to say that he was a dreamer, a visionary who dared to walk where others hesitated.
Former Cabinet Administrative Secretary David Osiani has said Raila stood with his principles even in circumstances where he stood to lose political support.
Law. Never witnessed a man so magnanimous, with a heart so huge as that of Raila Odinga, who would be jailed by Moi, but would put aside his pain for the purpose of the nation, not self, just as Kiraito said. A man who would be insulted by Uhuru as Mogoroki, but would, for faith that has just political talk and form a friendship, a man that would see beyond betrayal.
Osiani has recounted how Raila Odinga was
Now when you look at Osiani, then Winnie, you realize that there's a lot that the current politicians need to do, whether the opposition or the government. Because currently, what we are actually consuming from these politicians is, abuses.
Acne-prone skin.
You know?
Soap is not enough. Try Pure Active, the #1 anti-pimple cleanser.
They are simply hurling abuses against each other. Okay? And this kind of abuse is very unhealthy for anybody. So let's listen to Sifuna quickly,
in the presidential
and then
case
we'll
regarding
end our discussion.
whether a majority of commissioners should agree or whether all the commissioners should participate in announcement of the presidential results. They threw that ball back to Parliament. But when Parliament goes to make those laws, Parliament itself as an institution is subject to the Constitution. The Constitution requires that participation of the people was elevated from the Kanu Constitution, which I'm sure is still stuck somewhere in your head. It elevated the people's participation in lawmaking to a level where if you do not have effective public participation, that law will be struck out. That is not judicial overreach. Now, all of these things, Trevor, my brother Mungatana was trying to paint a picture of us in the opposition as people who don't participate in debates, and is trying to conflate my decision to reject or to not to sit there and listen to RUTO's lies during the presidential debate. And do you know what? No. Even during that presidential debate, nobody is allowed to speak.
I think
just let me finish. Let me finish.
Parliamentary.
Let me finish.
Let's be parliamentary.
We are not in parliament. How can we be parliamentary?
Fine.
We are on TV.
We will answer.
We are not in parliament.
Let us write it down.
King is not here to protect you. We have to speak the way we speak.
No, you can't.
This is not parliament.
No, you
I can say. Who says I cannot say? This is not your show. It is his show. Let him be the one to tell me what I can say. Let me finish. I'll finish and then you'll address me. Let me finish first. Let me finish first. Let me finish first.
How can you say this
It is the English language. If something is not true, it's called a lie. This is not parliament. by custom, you don't talk to elders or people. Pokomo custom. We are not here under Pokomo customary law. We are not here under Pokomo customary law. No, talk with respect. This is not a public rally of ODM. You can't come here and start calling the president lies. If you want us to respect the president is not a Pokomo. The president is not a Pokomo. He's not an elder. Kenyan, he's not an elder. Okay, Mugatana, hold on. No, Sifuna, he should respect people. Agree. You can't come and say the president is telling lies. It is lies. If people are older than you, if people are older than you, please address them with decorum. This is not a public rally. Agreed. Decorum, yes. Let me tell you, you did not call us here under Pokomo customary law. Correct. So let him take Pokomo customary law back to Garsen. I was not going to sit and listen to RUTO's lies as an elected official. So I chose to stay away from that debate. But I'm saying, the point that I am making, you need in terms of deliberately correct the way we use our language here. We are before the public. Yes, you will answer that. Yes, you know, the president is a liar. I can say it 100 times, and I can demonstrate it to you. I did it before Parliament and explained the points that were not factual. Not factual.
All right, guys. I just ended with that drama that happened in a studio between Sifuna Mungatana when they were called by Trevor on an interview, and Sifuna used very harsh words indicating Ruto is a liar, he cannot sit and listen to him spelling his lies and all that. And of course, this statement does not only come from Sifuna, it's coming from very many people, including citizens who've been calling him that. And do you know where the name Kasongo came from? Kasongo, then it came out as Kaongo after El Chapati and so many labels. So I don't know what you think about our president anyway. He's done his part, possibly because he believes he's done it. But I don't know at your level whether you believe that our nation is doing well. I don't know. Whether you believe we are on the verge of growth, I just don't know. Maybe I should let you think about it, and let's meet tomorrow to continue with the discussion. I need to work on some other things. Bye-bye for now. See you tomorrow.